Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here. You're hearing the tradeometer go off there. But welcome to this video. This video, it's going to be a video watch list, but I'm bringing back an old school watch list. I used to throw out a super stock every week, kind of what we call the kick-ass trade of the week. It's usually one of our best bets at Day Trading Radio. Excuse those alerts going off there on the dashboard. And well, to get back into this, this kick-ass trade of the week is one stock, one shot. Actually, hopefully you got to see the promo video of this because that's pretty cool. And I wanted to bring it back with 3M. Now, the other purpose of these stocks are great. I mean, I want to be in all the kick-ass trades of the week. If there was one stock out there I wanted to take is the stock that I feel like has the best chance of return, is really good. Some cases it might not be a kick-ass trade of the week. You're not going to just put one out there for the sake of it. There's a lot of stocks pushing at the highs here, but there's some quality stocks that are coming off the lows, which I really like. And this one, 3M, has a little China exposure. Excuse me, but I am a sorry. All right, that was the rock bot. We have a bot here trading ES futures overnight here at Day Trading Radio. So if you're interested in that too, that was going on in the background. You see that on the main screen. Here it is right here actually. So it just came in. This is what the dashboard kind of looks like. We're missing off a lot of stuff over here. The music playing, the alerts, the trade alerts, all the news. There's a lot of stuff on the bottom here. A couple indicators down here. We have the 5-minute. Right now we're looking at the bot channel. If you go up here, you get the bot channel, and you also have a Bitcoin chart here on the bottom. But anyway, that's running in the background right now. There's a divergence set up. It took those orders, and then it has a automated profit zone, a trailing stop, and a stop, and everything like that. So let's get back to what I was talking about. I'll actually put this on mute so we don't have to hear that. And I just muted that out. Now, today is Monday. It is September 16th, and we just had some pretty big market-moving news. And we have some more news later this week. We have the FOMC rate decision. But the big news was over the weekend. It was the oil fields, the Saudi Arabian oil fields being attacked, and the price of oil spiking this morning and causing some volatility in the market. And that started things off on a kind of a down note, but the market did not really want to sell off too much, in my opinion. I'm there from 8:30 to the close, and I was charting the markets overall pretty good, not really paying attention to too many stocks. There was some good stocks out there that were showing good relative strength, but I wanted to let the news play out. I wasn't sure if we were going to actually rally at the end of the day or were we going to trend it down. And we ended up holding, so we ended up getting that little pop at the end of the day. Not much to be mentioned, but today, right now, if we actually talk about the futures, I believe they are higher right now. So let me get back to it. Sorry, I had to take a break there. The 3M is going to be this week's stock of the week, kick-ass trade of the week. Even though there's other ones that are very, they qualify. There's some really good ones. I want to just keep it tight because I was looking at this one today. On a small pullback as the market was kind of selling off a bit, and even the Chinese fears and the concerns are kind of on the back burner, considering the oil attack. The 3M deals with a lot of petroleum, and I was wondering if maybe there was a little retracement due to that earlier today. When the market here actually sold off hard, we kind of bottomed out, we came up, we started moving back up, it started looking good, and I realized, let's get back to the basics here. This is a beautiful trend line, and I work a lot on trend lines, knowing that a trend line is part of a formula, that you can actually identify this line. So when you're able to identify a line, and a line is defined by 2 points, and you just draw that straight line between those 2 points, and that line will go as far as it'll go into infinity. And every time that the price comes back down to that line, because there's 2 points and there's a straight line, this line could be calculated, we're going to know where that line is going to be at all times. So all these algorithms and everything are picking up where the price is and where an established line is. So it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy when you look at trend lines. When they come down to it, we have a nice bounce. And then once we bounce up here and really confirms that trend line, even when we come down through it and we break down through it, it's very important to watch that same line. Doesn't mean that the line is no longer valid. Actually, it's the opposite. In some cases, it's still very valid, and it should be used to continue to trade off, and it's a great target. So when you break down through an established trend line, one of our first trades is the bounce back up to the trend line. So now we're into a point where we're following a stock, and we might find a stock, in its in the chart pattern that it is, and it just happens to look just like this. And when I look back at things like this, I kind of go back and kind of see how the price reacted with the trend line multiple times now. I've traded for 20-something years, so I know how a stock starts to act when it holds that trend line. Once we break down through it and we get back up to it, it tends to hold it. But when we break down through it again and we get back up to it and we come back and test it and hold it, that's usually a good sign of a bottom, and we actually start to move up aggressively off of this. So we're in a situation now where we broke down through it, came back to it, came back, kind of broke through, chopped around, had a nice pop up here. There was some news. It gapped up. I think there was some China news. It gapped up at 188, and then it sold off most of the time and came all the way back from 188 down to 153. That's a huge move. So we traced that way, retraced 50% of that move, basically, and now we're midpoint on that and a little pullback there. But my take on this is that we're going to hold this trend line here. We're going to hold this area 165 to 169, and we're going to start heading back up. Now, I use stochastics a lot in some of my time, and I tend to shy away from a stock that's in going long or taking a position when the stochastics are overbought or kind of turning over. But when we have other things that are playing out, like maybe a little retracement or a 60-minute time frame, or the stock is overdue for moving up, sometimes we'll get this to hang up here, and that's something we're going to watch too. And I'm actually not kind of sniffing around for an embedded stochastic here. So with that said, we look at the 60-minute time frame, and you can actually see the 60 came right down to an oversold level. Last time it was oversold, it was back here and had a nice pop. Before that, it was back here and it's moved up, and before that, it was over here and it popped. And the 60-minute time frame is actually a great indicator to use time frame on the stochastics. In this case, we didn't get much of a pop, but we did get a little pop, and the stochastics are right at this level right now. Now, for what I would like to see happen here, and we're going to zoom out here. This is the 5-minute too, and you can see there's kind of I put this line in here just to kind of show you how it's chopping through this line back and forth. Now we're back down here again, and we're going to go back to that 60-minute time frame. So what I would like to see is maybe one more rotation down and then a nice bounce. So tomorrow is going to be a key day for me on this. I think we're actually going to pop on this. I'm not going to look for too much of a pullback. Remember, I think we hold at 64 pretty good. This is a nice base. This trend line this trend line here that you're seeing is that daily trend line that we're showing. So it's a close up on the 60. So we're kind of superimposed it on the 60. So you can see if we could actually pull back to that level, it wouldn't be that far underneath. It would be around that 64 level. I don't think if we got back there, fine. But honestly, I don't think we're going to get there. I don't think we're going to pull back. Same thing with Boeing. I don't think Boeing's going to give you too much more of a pullback. Today was like they had some more news saying that they don't expect the MAX to be online before 2020, and there was some other, kind of negative comments. But Boeing just held its ground and started inching back up. So you could tell that the sellers are out of that, and now the people are just buying the bad news. I would expect that with 3M. If there was any pullback here, I would like to get in on it, but I'm not going to wait for it. This is a great trade. So how are we going to trade this? Well, it's $169. I'm figuring I'm going to be looking at options on that. I actually own some October options in this, and they were I'm not in front of my I'm not in front of my platform at work where I have everything up and stuff. But we're going to look at the option chain right now for you, because I'm going to take I want to take another position or add to my position tomorrow, most likely, on this kick-ass trade of the week. Most likely this is the one I want to be in. So we're going to give ourselves some time. And time means we're going out from September, probably out to October. Now we could see, it tells you weekly. If it has a W, it's a weekly option. That means it expires each Friday. If it's a monthly, it's usually blank. It's usually the third Friday in the month. So I'm looking at the October 18s, 32 days away. All right, so I say to myself, 32 days. How far are we looking to get on this? If we're going to push back up, do I think we get through 170? I think 170 easy. It's 169, so I'm not, let's take a look at the daily here fast. All right, so overall targets, best target 187 to 182, so the 80. So we're looking at a good 10-point run on this. But I never want to go and stretch that, I just want to take a good price. So take a look at the option activity for October, and it's not bad. I mean, let's take a look around. Actually, the September 20s are pretty active. The 170s, actually, the 170s right there are pretty active, and that's 4 days remaining, $1.75. But I want to go out and give myself more time. I like having that time. So here, 32 days remaining, 170s or 455. I think we could go with the 175s here. I don't think we're going to have a problem with the 175s. I think we could double our money on this one. So they're trading right now about 220, we'll call it 230, $2.30 per contract. And look at the 160s are 10. Wow. We're going to go out a little bit further, see what's active out there. That's it. That's the puts. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. The 175s trading about 230, picking up 3 to 4 contracts to add to whatever I have already, and I think that's going to be a great trade. We're going to watch this. Worst case, I want to see this really hold that lower trend line like we described. It's held here. Balance broke through. We're back above it. Pull back, hold, off to the races. I don't think we're going to pull back. I think that 60-minute time frame pulled back, and I think today was the only pullback you're going to get. And we're going to start heading higher. So keep an eye on the price action. You can follow the stock with me on DayTraderRadio.com. I am broadcasting live every day at starting around 8:30 in the morning Eastern time, going all the way to the close, and sometimes we do nighttime shows. And I'll keep these kick-ass trades of the week coming to you every week. All right, that's what my goal is, to get this out. I'm going to be doing another video soon. I want to do an update on the AUPH, which I think is really important. Another concept of this video, bringing us back, is because the market's given us great opportunities, but it's hard sometimes to step up, even though someone's banging the table and we might have a great trade set up. Sometimes you just don't pull the trigger. And I just want to use this kind of as a motivational area to, inspire you to take a chance on some of these, especially the ones that the good research is done. This is really, I love this setup. But even where we're talking about a more riskier a trade, the AUPH, really like that. Feel like, the opportunity there is to really make a lot of money. So do your research. If you feel comfortable in a stock like that, do your research. They're coming out with that lupus drug. I'm pretty excited about how things are wrapping up, and we're seeing other signs of the company gearing up to launch a new drug, and that drug will have to be approved by the I was going to say the FCC, the FDA, my old pirate radio days. FCC, Jesus. So I'm going to, follow up with another video on that. So I'll see you guys in the market. This is Day Trader Rockstar for kick-ass trade of the week. 3M, options, play to 175. I think we get to 180 is going to be overall target. I'll get it on the HPS watch list also. Have a great evening.